Hey guys, it's RavenSylphe, and welcome back to Corpse Party, Book of Shadows. God, it's been forever since I even looked at this game. I want to try to get back into recording games. Again, I've been so busy with work and trying to get my machinima project going, and haven't had time to really record any games. I want to do some live streaming too, but haven't had time for that. With all the moving and work and stuff. So, let's just get right back into it. See if I can remember how to do this. And don't get myself killed. The middle school is already pitch black. I guess there really is no one around right now. And this hallway feels longer today than it ever has before. Was it always like this? Can't imagine I'd ever be on time if it were. I continued my brisk walk down the impossibly long hallway toward my goal, jumping every now and again whenever another thunderclap sounded. Kisaragi Academy was comprised of both a middle school and a high school, and this evening, it really felt like it was flaunting its massive size. Didn't help that my classroom was in the high school wing, which happened to be past the middle school, making it seem that much farther away. When a building that's usually so full of life goes completely quiet, it becomes such a lonely place. I swear I can hear every drop of rain. I was focusing on the scant few sounds around me as I paced down that long, lonely corridor. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a faint noise, as of someone playing an organ. That was just my imagination, right? I mean, it had to be. There's no way anyone would still be here practicing, right? Well, the lights are still on. Apparently they don't lock it to the students. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. It was probably the sound of the rain, wind, and thunder mixing together. It just sounded like an organ, that's all. Yeah, I get those confused all the time. I was convinced. I kept walking. But then, I heard the same noise again. This time much more clearly. It was unmistakable. No way! I was paralyzed with fear. My heart was pounding as if it were struggling to break free of someone's sinister grasp. It's probably just some devoted member of the band or a teacher who's working late. I'm just being stupid. Thinking about it, I vaguely recalled someone mentioning an upcoming performance by the Wind Instrument Club. I guess an organ would qualify. Someone must have just stayed late to practice, that's all. I can't get that damned ghost story out of my head. Okay, that wasn't in the game, that was my neighbor. I took another deep breath and tried again to calm my overly jittery nerves. Anything can be scary if you think it is. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the neighbor is running water. I guess they're taking a shower. I'd heard that if you let your imagination run too wild, fear can even make you see things that aren't there. And my imagination was most definitely running wild. I'm almost there. I might as well sprint the rest of the way. I decided to dash toward my classroom so I could get out of this hall as quickly as possible. That startled me a little bit. Finally reaching the familiar door, I swiftly opened it and flicked on the lights. Alright, I made it. Now I just have to be absolutely certain I don't leave here without that pen case again. Thanks to all my unexpected pauses to freak out over thunder and lightning, it took me far longer than it should have to get here. It was already well past 7. 7 o'clock, huh? It was the appointed time when the ghost of the teacher was supposed to appear, at least according to the school legend. No undead educators here. I let out a sigh of relief and relaxed my shoulders a bit. The lights were on both inside the classroom and out in the hallway. Sure, it was still dead silent, but the fear I'd been feeling had completely melted away. Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of. The 7 wonders aren't real. I grabbed the pen case I'd come back for and shoved it into my pocket. Okay, mission accomplished. With my long ordeal behind me, more or less, I looked around the classroom and let out another sigh. I'd only ever known this classroom when it was bustling with activity, and thus found its eerie silence and utter stillness to be oddly fascinating. Such a strange feeling being alone in a classroom like this. I got the idea in my head that to try doing something I normally wouldn't be able to do, like sitting at the teacher's podium and writing on a blackboard. Chances like this don't come around too often after all. To me, the area behind that podium, from which teachers conducted their lessons, was like a sacred space. I dreamed of standing there myself one day, and I could hardly resist his pull when presented with a rare opportunity like this. Well, no one's looking. To my classmates, this would seem like such a silly, stupid dilemma. But that didn't change the way I felt at that moment. Should I, or shouldn't I? You know what, let's do that. How can I pass this up? It's a chance to feel like a real teacher. I decided I had to try it. During daily cleanup and such, I'd come and gone from this spot countless times, but this was the first time I'd ever had an opportunity to stand here and preside over the classroom. So, this is how it looks to a teacher, huh? It's kind of awe-inspiring. Gaining a teacher's point of view in the most literal sense was starting to get me really fired up. It may seem silly now, but this was my stage. This is where all my dreams would play out. Someday, I began to imagine the future that awaited me, painstakingly detailing some new piece of knowledge for students sitting attentively at their desks, gliding chalk across the board, filling it with information to aid them in their studies. I sure hope I can make the cut one of those days. I was getting so excited that even I began to think my behavior was a little strange. Maybe it was just the juxtaposition of these joyous, freeing visions and the prickling dread I'd been feeling up until now, just a minute or two before. But then, in the blink of an eye, one of these two conflicting emotions completely overpowered the other. Oh God! Ah! Crap! Is it a blackout? That's weird. My neighbor's water just stopped running at that point. Suddenly, my surroundings were bathed in darkness. Going stiff with shock, I stumbled back a step, and my back struck the blackboard with a dull thud. Oh God. What awful timing! I instinctively grabbed hold of the rail where the erasers sat. I felt chalk dust against my fingertips. My panicked heartbeat was making it difficult to breathe. Was this caused by the thunderstorm? If so, it sure picked a fine time to turn the lights out on me. And what's more, I can still hear the sound of the organ, but no, it's an electric organ. How is that even possible? You must not go. I don't even remember the old lady voice. It's been so long. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? That's impossible. She was no fortune teller or psychic. How could she possibly even know this would happen? Hell, even if she were a fortune teller or a psychic, predicting the future is the stuff of science fiction. I shook my head. I need to calm down. Maybe it's just the swing that lost power and the music room is still okay. That seems plausible, right? I curled my chalk-dusted fingers into a fist and silently tried to talk some sense into myself. I've got to get out of here. I shouldn't have been playing teacher. I should have been in and out by now. Cursing myself a little, I fumbled my way through the darkened classroom. Ah! I'd spent so much time in here, you'd think I'd be able to find my way out with my eyes closed, as it were. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Smashing loudly into a desk, I knocked it on its side and began tumbling around it instinctively, grabbing at other desks around me for support. Oof! Damn it, sounds like I knocked a lot of stuff out of that desk. Guess I'll need to put everything back. Still fumbling around blindly, I gathered up all the scattered notes, textbooks, and writing utensils. Oh, I can't tell what's what. This is so embarrassing. What the heck am I doing anyway? Wasn't I supposed to be hurrying home? I'm such a klutz. I let out a sigh. I seem to be doing that a lot lately. Okay, this is a textbook, and this is a notebook, right? I was trying to take inventory of all the things I'd knocked out of the desks, then realized why. I might as well just stand up and stuff it all back in. I couldn't possibly organize it properly in absolute darkness. Better just to apologize tomorrow to whoever sits here. Not that that was a particularly pleasant prospect. Explaining what I'd done wouldn't be easy, and no matter how I sugarcoated it, it would serve as a clear indication of my clumsiness. If I didn't say anything, it's not like I'd be found out, but that would be the same as lying as far as I'm concerned. And I couldn't do that. Okay, I think I got everything. I placed my hand against the floor and swept it around, feeling for anything I might have missed, and I found something all right. Ew, gross, what is this? It's all slimy, ugh. I'd clearly brushed my fingers against something, and I had no idea what. It was no notebook or writing implement, though, that's for sure. Why would anybody have something like this in their desk? Maybe it had been on the floor all along. What is this stuff? I rubbed my sticky fingers a bit deeper into the wet spot. That brought my hand close to my face so I could get a better look at what was there. What on earth did I just touch? Ah! There there was a flash of lightning almost immediately, joined by a roaring thunderclap, and with it, for a split second, the pitch-black classroom was lit up bright as day. God, is that blood? I shot to my feet, utterly mortified. In that split second, I got a very good look at my fingers, and it really did seem as if they were covered in blood. But it wasn't just my hands. No, if my peripheral vision were to be trusted, it looked like the entire classroom was stained a deep, dark crimson. Crap, it kind of smells like blood in here, too. Without thinking, I backed away from where I'd been crouching. I tried rationalizing what I saw. How could a whole classroom become a bloodbath like this? Did someone spill? Did someone stumble in here injured? This isn't possible. It can't be. I mean, how? My whole body was quaking. I fled from the classroom, or rather, I tried to flee. Oh, shit. What? Why won't it open? No, please, no. If I don't remember locking it, and it isn't locked, so why can't I get it open? I pulled on the door handle again and again in a frenzy. Yeah, I was pulling so hard I felt like my fingernails would tear loose. But it just wouldn't budge. Why? Why? Please. I was absentmindedly grabbing at my hair with one hand and slamming my fist on a nearby desk with the other. This was a nightmare. Please, no. What is going on? Silence saturated the inky blackness of the room. I took several deep breaths in an effort to restrain my pounding heart. Calm down. I have to calm down. I'm probably just panicking because the door won't open. I'm sure I just misidentified whatever this is on the floor. I mean, it's preposterous, right? There's no way something like that could be. I was certain that what I saw actually was, come morning, I'd end up being something totally random, like someone's old soda, stained gym clothes. That has to be it. Yeah, I probably just brushed against somebody's paint for art class or something. My imagination was just running wild because I was panicking. And the door probably just has something caught in it. That's all. I decided to check out that hypothesis by feeling my way across the door and determining if anything was jutting out from any of the cracks. Damn, not sure I can do this without being able to see. I fumbled around the gaps in the door, but I just couldn't make anything out that way. Maybe there's another exit. No, this was the 3rd floor. I couldn't get out of here without exiting into the hallway. Let me out. I want out. Hi, kitty. Still at a loss, I noticed a sudden flash of light through the hallway window, but the glass was only translucent, so I couldn't be sure if it was of its source. Is someone out there? Then there came the distinctive clomp, clomp, clomp of footsteps. Oh, of course, it must be the custodian. I recalled the existence of a custodian who actually always patrolled the school grounds. I'm sure he was probably taking a look around after the sudden power outage. Great, I'm saved! All at once, my fear-addled legs regained their strength. This nightmare would soon be over. Excuse me! I shouted to the custodian at the top of my lungs through the window. Excuse me, I'm trapped in here! I had to be sure he heard me. I shouted again. Finally, I could see the light out in the hallway again, and it seemed to be getting closer. However, something's not right about this. Perturbed, I took a step away from the window. If that's a flashlight, shouldn't it be brighter? It kind of looks like the faint, unearthly glow classically attributed to spirits, was what I was thinking. I tried to stop myself from finishing that thought, however. Dullness aside, it also looked like it was wriggling around in a weird, in a very unnatural, very unflashlight-like way. And these footsteps, 4 clumps, then a 3 or so second interval, then another 4 clumps. They were sounding like a fixed rhythm. That's no custodian. Nobody walks like that. The fear was back. In full force, I had to find somewhere to hide. What if I'd accidentally summoned something inhuman? I mean, whatever that was. I begged it for help. I literally invited it in. I need to hide, but where? The podium. For some reason. I hurriedly hid myself behind the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curling up, and made myself as small as I could. What is this? What's happening? The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Clomp, 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 clomp. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my body was standing on end. Please, just pass by, please. I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. They were close now. Very, very close. Please, God. Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her because I didn't take the paper doll from her? Was it because I'd heard the ghost story of Yoshi and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of that day have nothing to do with what was happening to me now? It feels like my heart is going to burst out of my chest. I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let even the tiniest of sounds escape and give away my position. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, tap. This took a second. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles. And it had ended right in front of this very classroom. That was a weird gasp. I'm sorry. I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshi? Was the school legend real? All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footsteps didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshi, then she'd stopped in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but felt like at least an hour. Maybe whoever it was is gone. I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room, and suddenly... Ah! The footsteps rang out once more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hiding spot and covered my mouth with both hands. This was too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, and my face was a mess of tears and snot. God, please save me. I was inconsolable. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. What on earth were they doing? Sounds like she's tap dancing at this point. It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me. Stop it, please, stop it. I mouthed these words over and over again and moved my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound, as if in response the sound changed. There was a loud, dull thud followed by silence. No more footsteps. I'd heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was the classroom door sliding open. I peeked out, but the door was so tightly shut. How could that be? If the sound I heard wasn't the door, then what was it? What little safety I'd felt was pretty much gone, but to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay here where I was or make a break for it. Make a break for it. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble, so I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out as quickly as I could, quietly as I could. But almost immediately I felt something. Something long and thin had struck me in the back of the head. Or perhaps struck isn't the right word. There was little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam. More like someone trying to get my attention. Is that a wooden rod? Or no, it's a finger? I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever this was, so I turned around. And there, looming over me was... Is someone still here? Ah! Go home, child. A figure was peering down at me from above the podium with one emaciated wishbone-like finger extended toward my face. Why don't we get a CG of this? I recognized the person instantly, no doubt about it. It was that strange old woman who had supposedly passed away earlier. Yeah! I was scared out of my mind. I tumbled the rest of the way from under the podium and shot to my feet. A ghost. There really was a ghost in the school. My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding as hard as I thought it might explode. Plowing through all the desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could toward the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go. What's wrong? Ah! There in the doorways was the same old woman, emitting a bluish-white glow. This was the source of the light I'd seen through the window earlier. Maybe I chose the wrong thing. Shoot. But how in the world did she get the door before I did? I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate. I tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted about the room. I needed to get out of here now, to get as far away from this place as I possibly could. If the front door is blocked, maybe I can get out through the back. But if I do that, I can't leave the school without running right past her. There's no way she'd let me by, but I have to do something. I bit my lip and continued scanning the room. Something. If I just had something I could use to fight back. I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There was 2 choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. Bag of salt. This looks like leftover salt from an old chemistry experiment. I'd heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural one. Okay, this is coming with me. Salt in my pocket is a sort of protective charm. Salt is supposed to be good against spirits. I'm scared, but, well, here goes nothing. I was holding her hand in front of... her hand from the other side of the door frame. She really was trying to catch me. She wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced this had to be Yoshi, the teacher from that urban legend. No, I won't let her get me. Bracing myself, I darted toward the door at the end of the hall classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose if I didn't act fast. I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running at the top speed, hoping the escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be an effortless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at perfect speed to intercept. Stop! Ah! Don't come any closer! I thrust my hand in the pocket, withdrew the bag of salt, and threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. She recoiled. Now's my chance. I ran down the hall as fast as my legs could carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder. After a moment to confirm that the spirit was still riding. I just kept on running down that hallway with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep going. I reached the stairway at the end of the hall and made a mad dash toward one level. I was trying to get out of the alive. Stop! Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the window door leading outside. Almost there. I'm almost out. Luckily, the malevolent spirit had the trap me. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this. I made it. I grabbed the handle and tried pulling it. Huh? No, it's not opening. Why? I am so close. Please open. I'm begging you. I have to think of something else. At this rate, the horrible woman's going to... No, I can't let that happen. But what do I do? What can I do? Forgiveness. Oh, hey. Putting my thoughts in order, I came to the sudden realization that I was right near the umbrella racks. Unless the spirit had taken it or something, my umbrella should still have been right there where I left it. Here it is. I practically tackled the rack, grabbing my umbrella once with motion, not from the handle that I do, but from the top. Then, taking aim at the glass part of the door, I swung as hard as I could, snapping it dead center with a sturdy plastic handle. Yeah! The glass wasn't going to break so easy, of course. It did crack, giving me the impetus. I needed to go in for a second hit. Break, damn you, break! Again and again I struck the glass. I had the umbrella. I probably tripped the umbrella gripped so tightly that the metal skeleton of the canopy was leaving the indentations in my skin. I was sure there had to be a better way to do this, but I didn't have the luxury of time to figure out what it might have been. Stop! You must not leave. She's coming this way. I began smacking the glass even harder, even faster. My hands were killing me, but this was my only hope of survival. Finally, after far too much effort. Yes, I did it! The glass shattered onto the floor, making one hell of a sound. The tepid air whooshed in from outside. It was still pouring rain, but I was free now, free to escape this hellhole. Oh, I need a drink, sorry. Okay. The pane I'd broken was on the lower half of the door, and I didn't care if I cut myself. I got down on my hands and knees and crawled like mad. I did it. I'm almost outside. I can actually escape. I'm safe. I felt triumphant for a brief moment. The fear was gone, and I was basking in my victory over the malevolent entity. Huh? But it didn't last long. Before I was even halfway through the door, I felt something coiling itself around my arm. With a start, I looked back. Oh gosh. You mustn't go inside. A tall, shadowy figure had appeared behind me in the entranceway, and she had me in her grasp. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue and pressing right into the bone. No, what are you? Where are you going, my dear? I'll just be a little longer, so won't you please wait for me? Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. I was shaking hysterically, and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here. Let go of me. Sachi. I could offer no resistance. She was too strong. All I could do was plead with her. Stop, please. You're really hurting me. I felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment. Let's be together. Forever. She wasn't just grabbing, she was twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. My mind was absorbed by the unconscionable agony.
Chishido?
Casa? I thought my arm was about to snap off, and then all of a sudden I was whisked away by Tsukasa.
Are you okay?
Why, Tsukasa?
No time to explain, we have to run.
What?
Tsukasa was still holding on to me tightly after saving me from the brink of death. He led me back into the school at an incredible speed. Are we going back into the school? That seems like a bad idea. Damn it, what the hell was that thing? Please tell me I'm just dreaming. He practically spit those words as he continued running.
Why is Tsukasa here? I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. After we'd reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him.
Shishido, you okay?
I'm fine. I can walk by myself, really.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately spilled onto the ground like a house of cards.
Whoa, you sure don't seem okay to me.
Maybe not, but I just need a few...
Hey, don't push yourself.
Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm Yoshi had been twisting.
Oh, sorry. Is your arm hurting you then?
Yeah, I don't know how bad it is, but it really stings, like it's on fire. I draped my hand over the sore spot where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all.
That's not good. We should get you to the nurse's office right away then and take care of it.
But then we'll be...
exposing ourselves to that ghost again, right?
Yeah. Just thinking about going back out there and facing Yoshi made me shudder. I couldn't believe he was even entertaining the idea.
Don't worry. Even if she does come to get us, I'll keep you safe no matter what, okay?
Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing, or try to at any rate.
We need to treat your injuries as quickly as possible or they could get worse. The nurse may not be in, but I can at least supply first aid.
Okay.
Alright then, let's go.
Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back into the hallway. Tsukasa's hand, it's so warm. Despite the fact that nothing had really changed, I was still in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I'd been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I would have never been able to do this. I would have frozen up, but with Tsukasa leading the way, I feel like could do anything.
Shishido, are
you don't want it? As I extended my arm to turn the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body up unsteadily from the wet asphalt. Why not? Well... I've nearly killed myself bringing this to you. Why will no one listen to me? You must not enter Heavenly Host Elementary without this charm. Heavenly Host Elementary? Yes, you must not go. Don't go! As the old woman cried out, the paper doll fluttered lightly to the ground. Almost instantaneously it became soaked through with rainwater. When Amy began to run, quickly turned into an illegible black smudge. Seeing this, the old woman grabbed